ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now let us continue our discussion about biological classification. Now for the last class we studied about two kingdom system of classification, three kingdom system of classification, and now let us have five kingdom system of classification. Now even four kingdom system of classification, what is given by Copeland, it also has the drawbacks. As we have discussed, algae and fungi, autotrophic photosynthetic organisms, could not able to distinguish from non-photosynthetic heterotrophic organisms. So here algae and fungi are not able to distinguish, and some of the prokaryotic organisms are also kept placed in Protista because of certain drawbacks and limitations of a four kingdom system of classification. So introduced next one across the world. What is the next one? Five kingdom system of classification. Five kingdom system of classification was introduced by the scientist R.H. Whittaker. Five kingdom system of classification introduced by the scientist R.H. Whittaker. Now out of all systems of classification what we have discussed, till today universally accepted, and universally accepted system of classification is nothing but a five kingdom system of classification. Till today we follow five kingdom system of classification given by R.H. Whittaker. So this is very important, right? So in five kingdom system of classification, now R.H. Whittaker has taken into consideration of certain criteria and certain parameters in classifying the organisms. Now this system of classification, let us see the parameters what R.H. Whittaker has taken into consideration. So remember, this classification is very important and given by the scientist R.H. Whittaker. Based on what parameters? Now based on, so here we can take cellular organization, body organization, or we can say a thallus organization, okay, cellular organization, body organization, and apart from this even has taken into consideration of mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, and mode of reproduction. So here apart from the phylogenetic evolution, what are the parameters? All five parameters are important. Five kingdom system of classification is given by R.H. Whittaker. Guys, this is very important, and you need to remember what parameters are taken into consideration in introducing five kingdom system of classification. First one is cellular organization. Cellular organization meaning here the type of cell. So here we can take based on the cell wall. So here based on the cell and cellular organization, it may, some organisms may fall in the category called unicellular, and some organisms may fall in the category called multicellular. So based on cellular organization, based on presence and absence of cell wall, some organisms are unicellular organisms and some organisms are multicellular organisms. Now apart from this, a body organization, thallus organization if you take, now based on this we can clearly distinguish, and parameters taken into consideration are prokaryotes, or the organisms may fall in the category called eukaryotes. So, some organisms fall in the category called prokaryotes and some organisms they fall in the category called as eukaryotes. Next one is mode of nutrition. Based on mode of nutrition, so they have taken into consideration of the parameter. Some organisms are considered as autotrophs and some organisms they considered as heterotrophs. Similarly, the mode of reproduction, it makes a difference between lower organisms and higher organisms. Like here, asexual reproduction happens in lower organisms and clearly distinguished between asexual and sexual reproduction, lower organisms to higher organisms. Why mode of reproduction has taken into consideration here? To differentiate lower to higher organisms, and also has taken into consideration of phylogenetic evolution. What is phylogenetic evolution here? Now here that includes interrelation, evolutionary relationship between organisms. It has taken into consideration of evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So, earlier whatever the drawbacks which we observed in the previous systems of classification, now they are rectified and implemented in five kingdom system of classification. In five kingdom system of classification, according to R.H. Whittaker, cellular organization or cell structure, either you can write cellular organization or you can also write the parameter called cell structure. This is the first parameter. Cell structure in that cell wall is taken into consideration. Based on that, he has taken into consideration whether the organism is falling under unicellular organism or it may be a multicellular organism. Similarly, body organization or thallus organization, based on that a clear distinction is made between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then mode of nutrition, based on that some organisms fall in autotrophs and some organisms fall in heterotrophs. Mode of reproduction, the organisms as per the reproduction process they undergo, they clearly come to know lower organism to higher organisms. And phylogenetic evolution, even in this evolutionary relationship between the organisms are also, the parameter is also taken into consideration in classifying the organisms into five kingdoms. As the drawbacks of previous systems of classification, two kingdom system of classification, it has its own drawbacks. Three kingdom system of classification, it has its own drawbacks. Four kingdom system of classification, it has its own drawbacks. These drawbacks and limitations are rectified in a five kingdom classification given by R.H. Whittaker, where all parameters are taken into consideration including the evolutionary relationship. So, that is why till today what we are following, most universally accepted system classification is a five kingdom system of classification, remember, given by R.H. Whittaker. Now, according to R.H. Whittaker here, now what are the five kingdoms? Now, let us list out. So, according to R.H. Whittaker, the five kingdoms, it includes, biological classification includes the five kingdoms. Now, which are these five kingdoms? Let us make a list. The first one is, as usual, Monera, and the second kingdom is Protista. Now, R.H. Whittaker is the one who introduced the next one. A third kingdom was introduced by R.H. Whittaker, that is nothing but fungi. Now, according to Copeland, algae and fungi are not distinguished but fungi now made into separate group because fungi, even though they contain cell wall like an algae, but fungi are heterotrophic in nature, whereas algae is autotrophic in nature. So fungi is introduced into a separate kingdom by R.H. Whittaker. Then next is Plantae, higher organisms, and then followed by Animalia. Right. So here as Whittaker, what is the kingdom introduced by Whittaker? Remember, so here 5 kingdom system of classification introduced the kingdom fungi. Fungi as a separate kingdom was introduced by R.H. Whittaker. Try to remember. Protista is a kingdom introduced by Ernest Haeckel. Monera as a kingdom introduced by Copeland, and now fungi as a kingdom introduced by R.H. Whittaker. Now according to R.H. Whittaker, same like Monera, it includes now primitive prokaryotic, primitive unicellular prokaryotic organisms, unicellular prokaryotes. Unicellular and prokaryotes is very important. So it includes organisms like bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma, all will fall in the category called as Monera. So we will have to start our discussion with the first kingdom. Now in this biological classification chapter, we are going to study about, in detail study about all the kingdoms. Now first kingdom which we have to start in detail study is nothing but Monera. We have to continue our discussion with the very first kingdom, Monera. So it includes primitive unicellular prokaryotic organisms, all first formed organisms. In the course of evolution, the primitive organisms formed on earth fall in the category called prokaryotes, and they included in the kingdom called Monera kingdom. Now coming to Protista, now Protista includes, it includes what not, you can take protozoans. I mean here it includes what? Eukaryotic organisms. So it includes unicellular eukaryotes. So unicellular eukaryotes if you take, so all that diatoms, protozoans, slime molds, all these will fall in the category called as Protista. Now clear distinguish between unicellular prokaryotes and clear distinction from unicellular eukaryotes. So Protista includes these all organisms and Monera includes these all organisms. Now coming to here fungi, fungi includes so here you can take non-photosynthetic heterotrophic and cell wall as they made up of chitin. Cell wall is made up of chitin. So non-photosynthetic heterotrophic organisms whose cell wall is made up of chitin. Heterotrophic organisms whose cell wall is made up of chitin and fall in the category called as fungi. So fungi, now they made it into a separate kingdom, and fungi heterotrophic in nature, non-photosynthetic. Try to remember cell wall is separately, it is made up of chitin. Now coming to plant kingdom, now Plantae includes, it includes algae. Algae cell wall is made up of cellulose. right? Not only algae, from lower to higher organisms like bryophytes, then pteridophytes, angiosperms and gymnosperms. So it includes lower to higher organisms. What are the lower to higher organisms? Algae whose cell wall is made up of cellulose, then higher organisms to bryophytes, pteridophytes, angiosperms and gymnosperms. About plantae, we are going to discuss in detail in the next chapter called plant kingdom. Similarly, what not Animalia? Animalia includes. So here what plantae? Plantae includes what characteristics? Plantae, they are photosynthetic. So they are autotrophic in nature, mean they prepare their own food material, or they themselves are also called as producers. They are called primary producers. So these characteristics we will try to differentiate plantae with Animalia. Now Animalia includes, obviously they are non-photosynthetic, right, and moreover they are heterotrophic in nature. They depend upon other organisms, right, heterotrophic in nature. Moreover, in this case cell wall is absent. So what not it includes here, you know, Animalia, what not it includes Annelida, right, arthropods, Mammalia, of course there are so many like chordates, apes, primates, chordates, insecta, right, this all will come under Animalia, right. So according to R.H. Whittaker, Monera includes primitive unicellular prokaryotes. This includes bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma. Protista includes unicellular eukaryotes, diatoms, protozoa and slime molds. And then fungi includes non-photosynthetic heterotrophic organisms whose cell wall is made up of chitin. Now this is separately placed as a kingdom, that is very important to remember. Fungi as introduced as a separate kingdom in case of 5 kingdom system of classification. Then includes plantae, photosynthetic, autotrophic or producers, which includes algae where cell wall is made up of cellulose, bryophytes, pteridophytes, angiosperms as well as gymnosperms. Now Animalia includes non-photosynthetic, heterotrophic where cell wall is absent, and it also includes what not apes, primates, mammalians, Annelida, arthropods, chordates, non-chordates, all will come under Animalia. Now importantly, when you look at why it is universally accepted 5 kingdom classification, means here a clear distinction has made between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So this up to here they are unicellular. Here Monera is unicellular, Protista is also unicellular, but remaining all are multicellular. Sometimes you will get the question that ratio between the number of kingdoms which are unicellular and the number of kingdoms which are multicellular. So from fungi they are multicellular, and up to Animalia they are multicellular, but the first 2 primitive ones are nothing but unicellular. So in this system there is a clear distinction between unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. 2 kingdoms are unicellular and 3 kingdoms are multicellular. 1 kingdom is prokaryotes, remaining all 4 are eukaryotes. So whenever there is a possibility of the question is there, so here you can write here. So I am writing giving the question, number of kingdoms which includes unicellular organisms. So here according to R.H. Whittaker, how many kingdoms include unicellular organisms? 2, right. Similarly, a number of kingdoms which includes multicellular organisms. According to R.H. Whittaker, how many kingdoms includes multicellular organisms? 3. Right? Similarly, I will write even other side. Questions I am writing here. Now, here number of kingdoms which includes prokaryotes. How many kingdoms includes prokaryotes? There is only one kingdom. What is that one kingdom? That is Monera. Next, number of kingdoms which includes eukaryotes. How many kingdoms includes eukaryotes? There are altogether 4 kingdoms. So, whenever you get the question that ratio between the number of kingdoms which are prokaryotes to the number of kingdoms which are eukaryotes means 1:4. So, try to remember these 2 important questions. Now, whenever you get the ratio between a number of kingdoms which are unicellular to number of kingdoms which are multicellular means 2:3. Which are those 2? Monera and Protista. Which are those 3? Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Similarly, number of kingdoms which are prokaryotes means only one. What is that one? Monera. Monera includes purely primitive prokaryotes and rest all. That means here Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Remaining 4 will come under eukaryotes. Now, R.H. Whittaker has clearly explained what are the organisms which fall in the category of Protista. What are the organisms which fall in the category called Protista? Now, according to 5 kingdom system of classification, who has given this? R.H. Whittaker. Now, according to R.H. Whittaker, 5 kingdom system of classification. Now, in this, now we say Chlamydomonas and Chlorella. Both of them together earlier placed in plant kingdom, but now they are placed in Protista. Similarly, Paramecium and Euglena. Paramecium and Euglena. These are earlier placed in animal kingdom. Now they placed in Protista. Paramecium euglena amoeba, if you take Paramecium euglena amoeba earlier, these all are placed in animal kingdom. Earlier they placed in animal kingdom. Chlamydomonas and Chlorella earlier placed in plant kingdom. Now together plant kingdom, yes. Now they placed into Protista. So these are important things according to R.H. Whittaker. Chlamydomonas, Chlorella earlier placed in plant kingdom. Paramecium and Euglena amoeba earlier placed in animal kingdom. Now they are being placed in Protista according to R.H. Whittaker, according to 5 kingdom system of classification. Let us continue further. Now, later introduced what is called six kingdom system of classification. Six kingdom system of classification. Of course, the major one is five kingdom system of classification. We will continue our discussion with the five kingdom system of classification. In that we have to start with Monera. We will continue that because that is a major kingdom, that is a major thing which we have to discuss under biological system of classification. But here even five kingdom system of classifications also has few limitations. Some of the algal members are being placed in Protista, and some members of you can take amoeba, paramecium. So, they are not properly placed in Monera and Protista. Because of this, there are some scientists again they continued in classifying the organisms. So, later even there is an evolving of six kingdom system of classification followed by eight kingdom system of classification, like that it continued. Many scientists across the world they try to classify the organisms with the help of different systems of classification into different number of kingdoms. So, later one what is introduced is nothing but six kingdom system of classification. Now, this was introduced by the scientist. Now, this is given by the scientist, Carl Woese. So, six kingdom system of classification, it is been introduced by the scientist Carl Woese. Now, according to this Carl Woese classified or divided according to this Monera, it is divided into two kingdoms. Which are those two kingdoms? Bacteria as Archaea. Bacteria and Archaea. So, according to Carl Woese, he divided this Monera divided into two kingdoms. So, what are they? Bacteria and Archaea. So, according to six kingdom classification, as they divide into these two. So, what are the six kingdoms? What are the six kingdoms he has given? First, according to Carl Woese, this is the first kingdom called bacteria, second kingdom called as what? Archaea, and continue further with the third kingdom, same like Protista. Then the fourth one is nothing but fungi, then Plantae and Animalia. So, here Plantae and Animalia. Now, it became altogether six kingdoms. Now, six kingdoms are there here. So, it will come under six kingdom system of classification. So, here according to Carl Woese, Monera is divided into two kingdoms. What are they? Bacteria and Archaea. Bacteria itself is included as one kingdom. Archaea itself is included as another kingdom. Remaining all are present as it is. So, altogether it becomes six kingdom system of classification. Now, later he has taken into consideration on what basis this is given. Now, this is given based on a small ribosomal rRNA, small 16 ribosomal rRNA, that is 16S rRNA, small ribosomal 16S rRNA, or you can write 16S rRNA. Based on this, he classified the organisms into the two groups. Mainly Monera is divided into two groups, bacteria and Archaea. So, what is that? Based on which one it has taken into consideration? A small ribosomal 16S rRNA. R itself is ribosomal. 16S, S is nothing but sedimentation coefficient. What is the 16S? You will come to know in cytology chapter, and you will come to know in second year molecular biology. At that time you will come to know What are this rRNA and why it is represented with the number called 16. 16 is S represents sedimentation coefficient that talks about weight of rRNA. So, R means here ribosomal rRNA. So, we say ribosomal rRNA. Okay. So, here this is based on a small ribosomal 16 and also based upon all organisms evolved from a common ancestral group, that is progenode. All organisms evolved from the common ancestor, that is progenode, common living ancestor or living stock ancestor called progenode. Very important. So, if you look at here, 6 kingdom system of classification is based on a small ribosomal 16S rRNA, and here it is given that a clear statement all organisms are evolved from a common living stock or common ancestor. The previous early organisms, previous living stock, previous early organisms, it is referred as progenode. It is referred as what? It is called as progenode. So, here if you look at this, progenode is nothing but common ancestor. This is very important for all of you to remember. Now, based on small ribosomal 16S rRNA, RNA means ribonucleic acid. We have 2 nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Now, apart from this, all organisms are evolved from common living stock ancestor, that is progenode. These two are taken into consideration of the Correll-Versey in classifying all organisms into 6 kingdom. Later, he has Correll-Versey, later after he has taken into consideration of progenode and 16S rRNA, Correll-Versey divided all organisms into 3 domains, instead of 6 kingdoms. Later, when he has taken into consideration of 16S rRNA progenode, Correll-Versey divided all organisms into 3 domains. Now, what are the 3 domains? According to Correll-Versey, same, bacteria is the first domain and second one is archaea and the third one is eukarya. So, altogether there is a formation of 3 domains according to Correll-Versey based on a small 16S rRNA ribosomal RNA and based upon the previous common ancestor living stock called progenode. All living organisms are evolved from primitive living stock, it is called progenode. So, these 2 things are very important. Based on these 2 things, he divided all living organisms into 3 domains, bacteria, archaea and eukarya. Now, here if you look at, here bacteria, it is one domain, the first domain. Now, bacteria is nothing but first domain, it includes prokaryotes. Archaea is nothing but second domain, that means these 2 includes what? These 2 includes prokaryotes. That means here archaea and bacteria, both of them includes prokaryotes. Right. Then eukarya includes remaining 4 kingdoms. Eukarya includes remaining 4 kingdoms. Which are those 4 kingdoms here? Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. All 4 kingdoms together placed in the 3rd domain. What is the 3rd domain? 3rd domain is nothing but eukarya. So, eukarya, it includes what? All 4 kingdoms includes eukaryotes. They all includes what? Eukaryotes. Bacteria, it is a prokaryote. Archaea, it is a prokaryote. And protista, fungi, plantae, animalia, This all four are included in the third domain called eukarya. Eukarya includes what? Eukaryotes. Now this is based on 6 kingdom system of classification. Now I will give you a quick revision. Try to listen carefully. 6 kingdom classification. Now according to R.H. Whittaker, all 5 kingdoms are universally accepted. That is a major one. We will continue with R.H. Whittaker. But later many scientists again they have seen few limitations and drawbacks of R.H. Whittaker classification, and later there were many systems of classifications are being introduced, and one of the classification is nothing but a 6 kingdom system of classification. Remember the scientist who has given this is Carl Woese. Now according to this, a Monera kingdom is divided into 2 kingdoms. They are nothing but bacteria and archaea. So Monera includes primitive prokaryotes are further divided into 2, bacteria and archaea. Then what about remaining kingdoms? They are placed as it is. So first kingdom is bacteria, second kingdom is archaea, third is protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. If you look at the count, they become 6 kingdoms. That is why Carl Woese referred that as a 6 kingdom system of classification. Later he has taken into consideration of some other parameters he has taken into consideration in giving the classification, like a small ribosomal rRNA. Now if you take this, R is nothing but what? Ribosomal. A small 16S ribosomal RNA. What is RNA? RNA is nothing but what? A ribonucleic acid. It is one of the genetic material. A ribonucleic acid, RNA, ribonucleic acid, ribosomal RNA, ribonucleic acid, because by the time microscope has already been invented and they could able to see DNA and RNA very clearly, but they could able to see the size is 16S rRNA. So there are so many sizes of RNA like 5S rRNA, 20S rRNA, 23S rRNA, 28S rRNA, 18S rRNA, like we have a different sizes of a different shape of different size of rRNAs are there, that we are going to discuss in the second year molecular biology. But here based on this rRNA, ribonucleic acid is nothing but one type of genetic material. In that 16S rRNA taken into consideration. Along with that, the living stock progenote is taken into consideration. What is progenote? The first primitive formed organism is progenote. The first primitive form living stock ancestor for all living organisms is progenote. So they could able to discover progenote, and the statement is given that all organisms are evolved from a common living stock ancestor, that is nothing but progenote. So based on progenote, based on 16S rRNA, now Carl Woese further divided all organisms into 3 domains. What are the 3 domains here? The 3 domains means 6 kingdoms, again they are placed again back into 3 kingdoms. Now what are these 3 kingdoms here? Now if you look at the 3 kingdoms are nothing but bacteria, 3 domains are nothing but bacteria, archaea, and third domain placed is called eukarya. Bacteria, archaea, eukarya. Bacteria, archaea, both of them includes prokaryotes. This is one kingdom, this is one kingdom, whereas eukarya includes altogether 4 kingdoms. So if you look at out of the 6 kingdoms what are mentioned here, bacteria is one kingdom, first kingdom, archaea is the second kingdom, both of them includes prokaryotes. Why then both are prokaryotes, no? Then why they are placed as 2 different kingdoms? Because they are most diversified in organisms and they exist in more in number, they are most abundant organisms. What is the meaning of abundant? They occur more in number. On earth they occur in majority in number, more in number. So that is why bacteria are actually most commonly found organism everywhere, on air, water, soil, earth, even on your human skin. Even on our human skin, if you place the human skin under microscope, you can find billions of bacteria taking shelter on the skin. They exist everywhere. And then followed by archaebacteria, they slightly differ in their characters. Both of them are prokaryotes, and remaining protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. These remaining 4 kingdoms fall in the third domain called eukarya. Eukarya includes eukaryotes. So we have prokaryotes as well as eukaryotes, but prokaryotic eukaryotic clear difference occurs with 3 domains: bacteria, archaea, eukarya, 3 domains. So major aspects what you have to remember in coral volse is 16S rRNA, progenote, these 2 things, and the 6 kingdoms according to coral volse, and later the 3 domains according to coral volse: bacteria, archaea, eukarya. Now these are the major things what we have to remember about the 6 kingdom system of classification given by coral volse. Sometimes you will get the question that which are the 3 domains given and what is the ratio of prokaryotes to eukaryotes. 2:1, because 2 are nothing but prokaryotes and 1 is 2 are nothing but prokaryotes, these 2 are nothing but prokaryotes, and only 1 domain includes eukaryotes, that is 2:1. What is the ratio? If at all they ask the ratio in terms of domains, that is 2:1. Suppose in 6 kingdom classification, if they ask the ratio between the number of kingdoms prokaryotes, number of kingdoms eukaryotes, then the ratio will be 2:4. That is number of kingdoms which are prokaryotes, number of kingdoms which are eukaryotes. That means the ratio will become 1:2. So depending on the question, based on the question, you have to look for the ratio. As per the question, you have to clearly see how many are prokaryotes, how many are eukaryotes. Based on the domains if you look at, then 2:1. Based on the kingdoms if you see, that is 1:2. If at all in the question it is mentioned as prokaryotes and eukaryotes.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.